everybody, it's me, CB. Join us every Wednesday for your Midweek Motivator, offering you conversation, motivation, music, laughter, and a whole lot of fun. So tune in. Let's talk. Join us as we shake things up and talk things out. CB and the boys. Join us for your Midweek Motivation. See ya.
The cars and make sure that those phones are all charged up and everything else is charged up, man. It's crazy out there. So it's just gonna be one of those nights where it's gonna be, we're gonna be here and there, and even the reception is gonna be all over the place. Prayers going up to my girl Nicole and her boy out there in Tampa and his people. We're just keeping them totally prayed up, and everybody that's out there, because this is just nothing to play with. I take this seriously.
She got a point. Yeah, I think we all got people.
Yeah.
That we're concerned about, et cetera, et cetera. So, yeah, definitely, guys. If you don't, here's what I will say: if you don't hear from your respective loved ones and things like that, don't jump to the worst conclusions. Try to wait. I know that's tough when you don't hear it all, but try not to. Here's what I always say: I only want to react once. Good, bad, and different. I only want to react once. I know that's easier said than done, and trust me, I've sat on the opposite side of the worst news you can. That being said, just try to keep, be hopeful and wait to hear something, especially like if you got people that don't have phone service and power, like Mimi said, they're struggling to try to call out like millions of others. So it's going to be like that at this point. But, nowadays with technology, people, you can be reached a lot of ways. Just hang in there. So that being said, we're going to still try to make you guys smile a little bit tonight. In spite of all that. Coolio was my guy. I want you to know I was a Coolio fan. My buddy and I talk about that. And it was kind of one of those, you either loved him or you really couldn't stand him. I don't know why people felt like that. As a guy who, he really, this guy, he went on hard times. He admitted he was a former crack smoking, drug dealing, robbing individual. But to turn around like he did, this dude has been in major movies, TV shows. He completely reinvented himself. Proof positive you can do that. And he became a household name for a long time, a good part of the 90s into the early 2000s. And he had projects on the way out. So that being said, I like the guy, personally, and I hate that happened. But we remember your brother. Like I said, I still have the It Takes a Thief album from '94, and I'm playing it now. So anyway, so yeah, but man, I don't know about y'all. I try to keep up with everything. It's a whole lot popping. So here's what we gonna do. We gonna let my sis do her thing, because I know she's gonna pee on herself and tinkle if she don't. Me be doing that happy. So let's get my girl right, because she gonna be going into, if we don't get it right.
It's Mimi's drink special. Mimi, let them know what you're sipping on.
Okay, so tonight I am sipping on mango margarita by Uptown Cocktails. And I had a little sip when I poured it, so you guys know I cheated. And it is so good. It's 13.9% alcohol. So you guys already know, just because of the hurricane and everything that's happening, I'm doing this for us. Okay? So, yeah. But I do have my water, so don't think that I'm just over here being negligent, okay? I'm not driving. I'm at home, okay? So,
I'm about to say, you ain't driving no damn where. Who cares? I don't care if you fall off your chair. Do your thing.
Hey, no, you better keep. If I fall off my chair, everything coming down your face.
Reach.
This is one whole concoction going on over here. You guys already know. So I can't even move too much. As a matter of fact, I better be careful. But anyway, what we drinking? What we drinking, sis? What you got going on over there?
Water.
Okay. Hydrating is excellent. I'm with you. I'll be there with you after this, after these messages.
Yeah, you right. You right.
Roger, what you got?
I'm telling y'all right now. Yo, your boy, I done gone back to my old mixology days today. So check it out. I'm about to make what I call a peach whiskey tropical. I named it myself. So peep it out. I got my shaker. You know it's serious business right here. So then I'm gonna break out some peach crown. You heard me.
Nice.
I'm gonna do two parts peach crown. Notice I said two, not one. And then I'm gonna take some drink mix, my Tropicals. It's got a little mango and peach pineapple going on in here. And get your little drink mix. You can do the same thing with a sour, make a peach whiskey sour, but I ain't doing that today. And I'm gonna give y'all the full authentic what's popping off here in my shake. I'm gonna shake this joint for y'all. Y'all are welcome. Well, y'all don't know. Your boy used to get down behind the bar.
He be showing off all over my segment, just showing off. But you know what? That's okay, my brother. I love you. It because
I love you.
I know. I love you too. I try to stay at bay. I stay at bay with it. But you do the damn thing. So I ain't never taking that away from you. Thank you for joining me.
Wait, hold on. Let me put my pinky up real quick. Hold on.
You said it.
All right, yeah, that's it right there. That's it. So yeah, I just felt like getting a little jazzy. But I'm following Mimi's flow. I'm following the whole peach, mango, orangey flow you've been going for a couple of weeks, Mama. So boom, here you go.
Yes. There we go.
You cannot go wrong with peach and mango and pineapple.
No, you can't.
It's such a sexy blend. And I absolutely love it. I always, when I go to a restaurant, the first thing I ask is, do you have mango lemonade, or do you have mango smoothie, mango something, and if they don't have mango, then I go to pineapple, peach. I have to have my, or coconut, rum is good. Rum is real good. But, you gotta have that flavor, that Caribbean flavor. It's just,
I got a soft spot for the Caribbean. Everybody knows that. A lot of friends, ex-teammates, all that from there. So I'm officially indoctrinated into a couple of different cultures. So I'm always going to be
Yes. Definitely indoctrinated into the Caribbean culture. So welcome, my brother.
Yeah, I'm feeling it. Yeah.
Welcome.
Now, starting next week, guys, we're going to throw some new flavors at you. So everyone look forward to that. So starting next week, Mimi has another segment called Mimi's 411. So everyone get ready for that. Mimi's got the 411, whatever's going on. So everybody got to tune in for that. You don't want to miss that. And Roger, as always, is Mr. Sports and Fitness with his little tips to help everybody get fit so they can, get their little winter bodies right.
We got a jerky.
And then George.
We got a jerky.
George Biker Boy Holman
gets to he gets to let his biker boy flag fly. He's doing motorcycles and different tech tips and introducing the different tech things that are coming out, the new technology and things like that. So everyone look forward to that. And then I will be taking over the business tips and I have a lot to share with everyone. So definitely look forward to that, as well as the movie reviews, which will be more consistent and spot on every week. So definitely look forward to that, because I've been kind of lacking and sporadic on it, because there really haven't been a lot of great movies that have come out this year as of yet, with the exception of Woman King, which I talked about last week, and I will definitely speak again this week on that. Just support Woman King. And then in November, we have Wakanda Forever. So you don't want to miss that. The sequel to Black Panther. Everyone will be in the movie theater for that. So those are the main two movies that I'm hyping that I really want to see do well. And next week, we'll talk about other movies. We'll throw some other things in the mix. So everyone, please look forward to that. So it's the new and improved CB and the BOYZ. Everybody look forward to that. Yeah. So you guys excited about the new changes?
Heck yeah.
I'm trying to. I'm trying to get to all my guys, man. I'm trying to get to my. I'm just trying to yell it on out. See what I'm saying? So here's what we gonna do.
Oh yeah, business tips with Roger Hawkins.
I be wanting to replay that sometime. I'm just nasty like that. Anyway,
you can. Don't let us stop you.
I be like this sometimes. Look, now it's raining. There are floods. My fitness tip for the week is: 1, keep your ass away from the coast. And 2, if you don't know how to swim, learn how to swim. Believe it or not, a lot of people can't swim. And I'm not trying to be funny, but even if you have to wade through stuff or do whatever, learn some of the tricks to saving yourself. Not so much fitness, but yeah, it really does help. It's a great workout. But if you get caught in things like that, floods, flash floods, cross floods, you need to know how to save yourself, i.e. not swimming against current. You try to swim with it. You try to slowly navigate your way to shore to safety. And considering it's kind of, hurricane season right now, this is probably going to go a lot further than, hiking or climbing or doing something like that, because people are really, really, in peril right now. So my suggestion would be that if you are afraid of, water, or you're not a strong swimmer and you live places like this, that you seriously investigate lessons or just an escape plan. So in all honesty, that's really what I'm going to say about that, because a lot of people think they know what they would do in a situation, and then that situation arrives, and guess what? you're kind of asked out. So since we're dealing with all of that, I would definitely suggest maybe getting well acquainted with water and some basic strokes and things like that might save your life. Moving on to sports, we have to talk about our boys, because that's what the luxury of us having a show and being from the same place is all about. So, week 3 of the NFL kicked off, and some surprises in terms of teams winning and losing. I'll just say once again, this team in the city that I live in is looking soon to probably get a new head coach. They're already talking about firing their head coach. 3 games in, they're 0-3. But as for my Chiefs, the boys didn't do their job last week. They didn't look sharp. I think it was a lot of internal miscommunication, to say the least. Everybody talks about questionable plays, blah, 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 the hit on Kelsey and all this other stuff. But that being said, I always tell people you should never get beat by the refs. Now, I know it happens, because there's a lot of stuff that happens that the untrained eye can't see. But point blank, a lot of little things added up to that L that should have never occurred. So, pennies make dollars and small problems become large and that. But, I know people were checking out the whole thing with Holmes and, or not Holmes, but, Bieniemy and Mahomes. So the homie was kind of upset. I've never really seen Mahomes get irate like that. He's pretty composed kid. So the fact that he and the offensive coordinator kind of got into it, and Bieniemy, who I think is a brilliant mind, but oftentimes becomes, he has no agenda. That's why he's the OC. I don't think they all agreed with that attempt that he didn't make at scoring, blah, blah, blah. Mm-hmm. So you saw Patrick get a little, a little out of character. So hopefully they iron that out, because I do want to see Bieniemy become a head coach somewhere. I think he will be successful. But, and you can't always make everyone happy and be a player coach. I think he made the call he thought was best. So there it is. That being said, the boys need to rebound. And, of course, Tampa Bay's coming up. So I need 2 of 3 things to happen. I need us to win. But if we don't win, I need them to concuss Tom Brady, because he's a dickhead. And then I also would love that game to get moved here, but it'll probably be in Minnesota. So there's that. And that's my take on what's popping off. But yeah, all in all, good stuff going on around the league. It just started out, stuff like that. So, we'll have more overall that good stuff going on. I didn't get to see much of it, but anyway, we're going to, while we're sticking with sports, I know everybody's kind of been dying, and we're going to start something, but our main segment for the evening, once we get into the second hour, this is going to piggyback this. I'm just throwing this in because of sports, but you guys already know what's been hopping in the news. It's the whole Celtics fiasco and things like that. So since we're kind of talking sports and controversy, obviously we all know that what's his name, Ime Udoka, whatever his name is. Okay, he's been engaged to Nia Long forever and a day, which I have an issue with that too. But so again, he got popped for having an affair with a couple of people that is on his staff at the organization. What? To me, that's not well. So wow, that's all I can say is wow. Anyway, he's the head coach of the Boston Celtics. He was. He's a brother. I think, what is he? Is he Nigerian or what's his heritage? Anyway, I believe he's of some African descent. Right. So, nevertheless, he's been engaged to Nia Long for 10 years. Black head coach of the Boston Celtics, which is a big deal in and of itself. But, he got ratted out. Basically, he got caught for having an affair with his travel arranging personal assistant and then someone else. So this story spins all over the place crazy, but he basically got suspended for the season, so he can't coach. And of course, Nia just moved out to Boston to be with him. They have a kid. She's got a kid from a previous relationship. Correct me if I'm wrong on that. And everybody's making a big to-do, but in my opinion, about the wrong stuff. So they're calling for his head all over the country, right? But ain't nobody said too much about Brett Favre stealing $5 million. So, a lot of people are upset about this. But, Brett Favre is, he was Jesus in cleats for a long time. And here's what I think. I think if Pete Rose still can't get in the Baseball Hall of Fame, Brett Favre should be stripped, fined, put in jail, and prosecuted the same way that Pete Rose was, the same way that Michael Vick was, the same way that this guy is going to be for a long time. Because let's face it, if you want to just talk about the fact that he had an affair, affairs have been around since Adam, from day one, and they haven't stopped many a high-profile individual from doing jack shit. But for whatever reason, they picked this individual incident to just lock on like a dog on a bone, which blows my mind. I'm not condoning. I'm not condemning. I don't really care. If this, in my opinion, he broke the rule of not having any kind of affairs or any kind of relationship with a staff member. Fair enough. But the funny part about it is it's going on. It's going on in different sports arenas all over the place. And by arenas, I mean different sports, period. she's a mixed reporter. As a matter of fact, there's a young lady. I can't think of her name. It'll come to me. She's basically just letting him have it. She's attacking him, persecuting him, and guess what? She's in a relationship with her coworker in the sports industry, in the telecommunications industry. Hypocrisy. The whole thing is hypocrisy. So it's a mess because I think they're going for all the wrong things. Did it affect his ability to coach? No. Did it affect anything in his relationship with the player? No. But again, he's going to be the sacrificial lamb. So our subject for this evening is going to absolutely tie in all of this. But all that, I say, you know what, 100% fuck Brett Favre anyway. Never really been a huge fan. He's a fantastic player, one of the best of all time. But he's been defrauding Alabama. Alabama is his alma mater, Alabama State or whatever the case, or is it Mississippi? One of the two. Mm-hmm. I don't care. But he's been literally stealing money from them since he retired. A millionaire, mind you, a millionaire. But he's still been, funneling money that was meant for social service programs and welfare programs. He's been trying to funnel it into a volleyball stadium for his alma mater because his daughter goes to school there. And he basically threatened the president and the dean, said he wouldn't take no for an answer. He broke any rule you can break to get that money, and they all went along with it because he's a celebrity. And yet, the living conditions, the water situation, I can name 1,000 things that $5 million could have gone towards, not a volleyball stadium, so that his, kid can have somewhere to play. But this is how, this country prioritizes things. So it's crazy.
Yeah, I said that I was not going to be watching the news. You guys know that, I'm listening to the conversation on hand, but I'm also on my phone looking at all these videos of Fort Myers, Florida, and a lot of these houses are underwater. This is just, it's ugly. Today was an ugly day for Fort Myers.
Now, here's a question. I've seen a couple of streets that were, literally 6 feet underwater. They were showing the signs and things like that. I guess my thing is, you always hate to hear that kind of stuff, but what the question I have, and this is really not me trying to be mean or anything, when people know they're in a high-risk area like that, you have to ask yourself, is it worth it to live there real estate-wise and things like that because you know this stuff's going to happen? I guess my thing is I don't understand, for the life of me, especially if you don't really have an immediate escape plan. I don't think I could take that much of a risk. I don't. And I know we come from where there are tornadoes. I live now where there are earthquakes, but not so much here. So, no matter where you go, there may be something. But it always did blow my mind that, people were like, we're going to stay, we're going to come back, and we're going to endure it again. No way. I could risk my life and my family's and just to say I had beachfront.
It's almost like living on an island when dealing with hurricanes. It's like you can't just jump up, back up and leave because you're on an island, born, raised, work, your whole life is there.
Right.
And then here comes, it's like every 10 years we get like the most devastating freaking hurricane, But there's really nothing much you can do about it except, I think that when hurricane season comes around or that September, October time, it's time to take a trip.
Right, but I don't know.
They all seem to hit in September. They all seem to hit in late September. All of them. So it's just crazy.
This is called hurricane season because of the dramatic change in weather. Think about it. In the U.S., we're going from summer to fall, and I'm sure there are other changes all around the country, all around the world, the globe for that matter. So, you automatically can say, okay, obviously where it's going from being warm to cold, if you understand anything about, weather and storms and all that, when those two fronts hit, the shit's going to hit the fan. So, and it's going to be obviously a little rougher in certain parts of the country or the world than others. But I feel like in this country, you have more options in terms of there's places you can go where the water won't reach. It may not be as tropical, temperate, or pretty, but how many times are you going to rebuild or lose, friends and family and things like that? And it's rhetorical. Obviously, I get the reason why people stay, but it just again, it becomes an is it worth it type of situation,
Yeah.
And that's
I think if people are in a position where they can leave, you just leave. You know, it's like when they say, "Look, man, we're evacuating this area," just leave, because that's what it is. That's the warning. The warning is, and you get a warning before the storm hits. You know, I know for most, it's like, okay, where do I go? Especially to those that just can't go nowhere. Some folks don't have cars. Some folks don't have nowhere to go for real. You know, and they're just stuck. Like, you know what? This is it. This is my it. You know.
And I do think about that. Okay, so kind of I'm glad you said it. Kind of spinning it back to like what we were talking about earlier with Brett Favre and things like that. So let's talk about what we call the Deep South in America. In America, you know, there's still a huge divide. Freedom or not, you know, emancipation or not, there's a huge divide. And we all understand it. You know, people from the South, if you look at education, if you look at net worth and things like that, the South is still steeped in a lot of old Jim Crow era rules, unofficial rules, practices and things like that. It's horrible. Look at the treatment and things like that because of how far behind they are in terms of the money and things like that. In my honest opinion, I have no clue. I have no damn idea why anybody black stays in the South. I don't give a shit if your whole family's buried there. Why would you stay? Let's look at, like, there's a guy who's I forget the gentleman's name. I can find it. He's basically in prison in Alabama, and he's basically about to die because of the neglect and the lack of care and treatment that he's receiving in jail. And he's become a public figure because, you know, a lot of Sean King and his group and a lot of people have taken note of it and have started to say, hey, we've got to get something done because of the horrific conditions. And that's all across the South, Alabama and Mississippi usually being the absolute worst, the worst of the worst. I just will never for the life of me understand, like you just said, Mimi, if you have the ability, and there are a lot of ways now to leave, just like post-slavery, when everybody went north. Why? What would ever possess you to stay somewhere where you're kept down, hated openly, treated so terribly, abused? I mean, it just, like, there's no way, I can't even imagine letting my kids, you know, grow up there, live there, spend the summers there. None of that shit that people used to do. You know, all I would be thinking about was Emmett Till. So it just makes me wonder, why? Why don't people leave? I don't get it. You can't say you can't because there are too many programs, too much help, too many ways. Why? Why would anybody ever want to live in Alabama or Mississippi or you know? I would venture to even say Tennessee, and there are other places there. Like I said, I've been to most every state down there, and it's one of those culture and heritage be damned if you get treated this badly everywhere.
Right.
You know, I just, you know, I just find it really, really hard to understand, and especially when literal lynching is still, I mean, that shit is still practiced, accepted. I mean, there's too many backwoods places, too many, you know, it's too much, in my opinion, you know, uncivilized territory still around those places, you know, backwoods, deliverance, redneck type of shit. You know what I mean? There's nothing appealing about wanting to live there, do that. And you can't rebuild something that you can't put your hand on, you know. And I know that doesn't seem like a solution, but no, I just couldn't trust anything that I thought maybe somebody I was going to literally lose, you know, a relative or whatever. They were being railroaded. Imagine these young kids that are, you know, mixed race kids, light skinned boys dating a white girl. You know, they can't wait to pull another Emmett Till and things like that. I couldn't. Yeah, I could. There's no way I could run that risk. No way.
Yeah.
No disrespect to my family down there, my people down there, but shit, you crazy if you think I would ever entertain that. The South is a mess, another world. It's a whole nother world.
Yeah, it is.
But yeah, it's and again, I've been there. I've actually jumped the fence and picked cotton. I went for a football game. We all got our goofy asses out. We jumped the fence and actually picked/stole some cotton. But see, it's only funny. It's only funny because I had to do one and leave. I didn't have a Kroger, so I have to do that shit from sun up to sundown for 37 years. So, but it is kind of surreal. It really is. It's an interesting thing. It's surreal to be like.
Now, when you did that, did you prick your fingers?
I didn't because I understand how it happened. So having read about it and knowing, we were real careful. We tried to break the little stalks, but we didn't just go in willy nilly because it is sharp. It'll spike you. It'll make you bleed. So, but it's funny you know that. It's funny you know that. But yeah, I think
I've seen that in movies where folks' hands have been pricked. So it's like, okay, yeah, it's like I don't think I want to pick cotton. So yeah.
Yeah. See, here's the thing.
I'm sorry?
I was going to say, can you imagine what our ancestors went through? I mean, they didn't have a choice. Despite what Kanye West thinks, they didn't have a choice whether or not to show up to work or not. They had to be in those cotton fields no matter what. And you just think of all the agony and the pain they went through. It just, it's crazy.
Now you're right. Now No, yeah. Can we imagine honestly? No, like I know people that have had to detassel corn and pick like crops and stuff in the summer in places like Iowa and Wisconsin, and they talked about that, and they said that's as close as it came to feeling like that, because I used to date a girl in college. Her dad was a coach, but during the summer, everybody had a side gig, and he was kind of like the foreman at this farm, and he made all of his ball players pick/detassel shuck corn. And they said it was very similar because corn stalks and leaves can cut you too. And so they said it was probably the closest thing to picking cotton. And they were like, it was miserable, and it gave everyone an appreciation, which is why he did it. It gave them an appreciation for what they had, because it was very, very hard work. And I mean, anybody that's ever worked outside or worked in the heat and all that. Now, I got to be an ass and be colorist against neither one of you clowns would have picked cotton. You know exactly where y'all have been with your light-skinned asses. So that being said, shut up. Y'all beige asses would have been there making mint juleps, trying to keep your titties away from Master's kids because they'd have been trying to suckle, and Master would have been trying to Sally Denny's your ass.
Look, I'm not even trying to put my 5 cents in the conversation because I already know my ass would have been sliced my damn throat from my mouth.
No, they'd have had something for you. It's okay. Listen, it's cool. All I'd have been doing, I'd have been looking in that window talking about, slide me a piece of pork fat over there, one of y'all. I'd have been trying to shoe a horse or some shit. I'd have been trying to stay out the sun.
Yeah, and if we got in trouble, we would have been in trouble because we trying to feed your ass.
Yeah, I'd have been getting y'all in trouble out there. I'd have been, come on now, Bessie. You knows I got to shoot that whole snack. Listen, I'm gonna have to play that for y'all one day. Believe it or not, guys. One of my favorite skits is, and I've been talking about doing. One of my favorite skits is a Richard Pryor skit. It's called Jail. It's called Prison Play, and it's called / Black Ben the Blacksmith. It is a genius piece. And it's a joke, but it's literally a story. It's like, 7-8 minutes long. And it's genius. I've always said that to people. It's genius the way this guy can captivate you for a whole story and at the end crack you the hell up. It's amazing. But that kind of just reminded me of that joke, you know what I'm saying? That whole Black Man the Blacksmith. Hey, anyway, I said it, management. I see you out there, family. I see you hollering at us. What's going on? We're definitely guys going to be in the house tomorrow. We might as well big up our family. We're gonna be in the house with Mimi and family. I said at management on tomorrow, doing some interviews. We're gonna be on the other end, and this is gonna be fun. And let's see. He said my mother from North Carolina as a child said she had to pick cotton. So right there, I mean, this is a brother who's sitting right here in our day and age, whose mother. That's direct descendant. I'm sure I had my great grandparents did, but my direct grandparents did not. I don't think. Maybe my grandfather, but when you say I talked to my mom and she told me about it, that's such a whole different, that's a different story. That dynamic has got to be crazy. You're sitting there, most of us are hearing about, oh, we went to prom, we did this, and your mom was telling you about picking cotton. It's mind blown, like right there. If you were old enough to really get it, mind blown. So that's a wow. I'm sure you've got stories for days on that one, brother. So we'll definitely have to talk about it. But Mimi, you and Crystal, don't forget to hand me that pie out the window. Don't be playing with me, damn it. Shit, it's hot out in the sun. You know.
Shit, like eating the pie. I'll be eating the pie and trying to stick a piece of it.
Right. See, it's always there, and then she'll snitch on me and shit. I'll tell you, that Rogers came over here and he stole it. You know they fast, man. So they fast. You ain't shit. See,
we'll get in trouble together. We'll get in trouble together.
Maybe say, hey, ride with me, girl, ride with me. Now let's go. That's funny, but not really.
Hey, I have a question for you. So, what would you do?
Okay, what's up?
If because you do a lot of, tech stuff and IT and stuff. What if you went to a company and everybody was dressed? All the white workers were dressed like masters, and all the black workers were dressed like slaves. How would you handle that?
The white people are hiring you to come and do your tech stuff, but you got all the black people doing that?
You know what I would do? I would say,
a question.
I would go, I need that white woman to show me where the executive break room is. And then we're going to go out to the back and I'm going to make sure I make it to my car safely. And I'm out of there. I'm not sticking around and talking. I'm not going to debate it. Clearly, there's something. Now, technically, in my opinion, somebody should set that whole damn place on fire. That whole group needs to go down. The black people and the white people, all of them are trash. They all need to burn up. But, because in this day and age, if that happens, listen, y'all are too stupid to be allowed to the black people and to the white folks. Well, y'all just doing what y'all do, and that's cool. But like I said, circle that bitch up with gas and set it on fire.
Yeah. All right. New question. So you're working for a company, and just for fun, kind of like checks and giggles, your boss calls you and tells you to come in the next day dressed like a slave. And that all the other the white workers are going to be dressed like masters. But they want you to come just like a slave and your other fellow brothers. How would you handle that one?
Well, two things. One, I don't have that problem because, thank goodness, I don't have to answer to anybody. Two, I don't care where I was. It could be anywhere, whether it's work or not. I am fortunate enough to know that I have just enough of a resting dick face that I don't think anybody would feel safe making that request of me. So I'm happy to say that because I think we already understand how this is going to go. If I do come dressed like that, just know it could potentially be the last thing you see that day. Because clearly I'm out of my mind, which means I don't care if I go and I take everybody with me. You know how far gone I have to be to actually agree to go along with that program, really. Me of all people, I am the most non-conforming son of a bitch you know. We can't. Yeah, that can't even. It can't do it. Like I said, the only thing I would say is it would be very, very out of. Yeah, if I dress like that, then we're gonna play big black slave, procures, secures, and does things to lily white woman. So bring your sister or your woman over here, and I'm gonna show you what they like them bucks to do. Trust me, you say some offensive shit, I'm coming back twofold. So bring all the women in your family and line them up, and then watch what Buck does. You can't request that of me. You just can't. You just can't. You can, but this is what's gonna happen. So,
oh man, wow. That's hilarious.
Thank you. I know, right? I'm just I don't know that. You know, in school, like in schools now, they have there, of course, we talked about this a little bit, the whole CRT and the whitewashing of history and they're giving it all these new cutesy terms instead of calling it slavery and things like that. And they're trying to make it seem like, all this, voluntary, indentured servitude and all this bull. Well, the one thing I say is because I get it. Listen, nobody wants to continuously be beat over the head with something that makes them feel horrible, even if, it's like they don't like to be reminded. Any more than you probably like to hear that story that your parents are going to inevitably tell company when you come over about being born or about whatever. They tell that story your whole life and you're rolling out like, Jesus, Mom, can you stop? Unfortunately, my kid has that situation. She's born on Christmas. So, and, old people are old people. So my aunt, when my grandmother was still here, and other people love telling about the story of her being born on Christmas and me missing my breakfast and pouting and blah, blah. They're going to tell that till they're all gone. So she has to deal with it. I think this is a lot like that when it comes to critical race theory and teaching and things like that. They don't want to keep telling that story because they never come out looking good. It ends the same. So I feel like the changing of I can't even call it narrative, but just kind of how the story is written to make it look better is what's being taught, which is also why it's up to us to educate our kids. I've never depended on the school system to teach my kids anything important. Anything important. You can teach them or not teach them, whatever. But if it's of import, you're going to sit down and get it from me. That way I know exactly how it was delivered, how it came. So what's funny is a lot of schools they're still trying to go, okay, this group of kids get over there. This group of kids get over there, and we're going to act. They like to try to act this shit out. And I'm talking about in 2022, not 82. There's still places where they do this kind of thing. Atlanta, there are places in Texas, Florida. They do that. They still go, okay, we're going to act it out. And I don't think I think a lot of times parents aren't aware of it. So that when the kid comes home and goes, hey, guess what we read? My grandmother had no idea we were reading the original version of Huck Finn, of To Kill a Mockingbird, of Last Picture Show. You know how much, gratuitous sex, racism, rape, and bestiality was in those books? A lot of people don't. Yeah. My grandmother was old. No clue. See, you got to be on top of that kind of stuff because this is how this stuff gets swept under the rug. A lot of these youngsters don't even know they don't know who even the major people were. MLK, Malcolm X. We won't even get into Garvey. We won't even get into to Carmichael. They don't know. It's our job to teach them that. So, because
really break it down. What is history? His story. History.
Right. Right.
So sometimes when you think of history, you have to, take it with a grain of salt because it's according to his story. It may not be your story. It may not be the real story, but it's his story. Somebody wrote it. Somebody felt that it needed to be remembered. And my thing is, when you think about history, as far as us moving forward, you can't go forward without knowing where you came from. It's impossible. You can't progress forward without looking back. You can't. Or else you're doomed to repeat the sins of the past. And it's pretty obvious that everything comes full circle and everything old becomes new again. And it's a scary thought to think that the thought of slavery could happen again, because there are those now in 2022 who would like to see it that way again.
I got a question for you guys then. So two things. One, you said here's what's crazy. Believe it or not, if I had to debate, I could argue both sides of that fence. I wouldn't want to, but I could. I could argue how if you were in a position where you had all kinds of benefits you were receiving, and then they were taken away, how upset would you be? Then I could argue the fact that obviously, if you were on the receiving end of all this brutality and punishment, how you wouldn't want that. So if you just take away the strict, classism by way of color of skin and things like that, I promise you, you're right. There are a lot of people that could defend that. It's kind of like gun ownership, land ownership, animal. I mean, you could utilize it for anything if you just take away the sheer fact that there's one group of people that are dominant over another group of people, because in theory we're supposed to be equal. Now, the question I have for you guys is: do you honestly believe if history was attempted at being recreated? Do you honestly believe, how far do you think something like that would get? Let's just say in this country. Because, I mean, if you look at it worldwide, the world has, everybody's had slavery. Everybody's had slavery now. Understand. Everybody has had slavery in some fashion. But it's never been nearly as atrocious, obviously, as this country set the damn precedent for how to really do it big and do it bad. But do you think, first of all, do you think other countries would intervene? And second of all, what groups do you think, how would it split up? How would it parcel out? Because believe it or not, some people that you think are, what do you think?
I don't think other countries would intervene. I really don't. One, they look at America as a superpower. So if the superpower is doing this, some may think, oh, that's not a bad idea. It's really hard to say, because for so long, America is looked up as the leader. And it wasn't until the previous 4 years that we were no longer the leader. We were the laughing stock. And so it's been us trying to reaffirm ourselves once again, reclaim our position once again. And that's not an easy thing. Once you've been, I guess you could say, demoted, it's hard to get your position back.
Mm-hmm.
That's a good way of putting it. I like that.
So, and it's going to take some time. It's going to take more than 4 years to get us back where we need to be. And
honestly,
longer time than that, even.
Yeah, I don't even know if it's doable in the same respect, because you can never unlearn what you learn. So obviously, when we were kings and things like that. But so Mimi, let's take your situation. Do you think that of all you have so many island nations, peninsulas, lots of places along the equator, all kinds of places that consider themselves neutral, but they still have a direct history to Africa. You realize there is not an island out there that has people on them. And again, like where you're from, people are in all different shades and all that, but every single one of you has African blood in you. Just some of you have European, some of you have, Scandinavian. And therefore, it's just like Brazil. Brazilians don't think they're black. Brazilians are just niggas that speak Portuguese. They look just like us, but they can't affiliate, because if they do, they lose. The only thing that they have going for them is that they come over here and speak a different language, and then they get a pass. They can still say they have culture. I get this. And there's a lot of countries like that. Brazilian has the largest black African, population on the planet next to Africa, but you can't tell them that. And so I only say that because I know a lot of them by way of what I do.
Yeah.
And so I think it's interesting because of how many people choose a respective side. Chinese people were treated like complete shit. They were treated like dogs in this country for a long time, but they found a way to get back in. And just like CB just said, it would take a long time. We're never going to reclaim our respective throne on this rock. Maybe on our original, but not on this one. That's not going to happen. But you find a way to assimilate. You find a way to fit in. And that's what, like, you look at the Asian cultures. Chinese people were blown up so many Chinese people were killed to make the Golden Gate Bridge. It ain't even funny. They were treated like dogs. Consider that. But they found a way to say, okay, we can't beat you, we'll buy you. And so now America depends on them because of technology and because of so many other things. Same thing with Irish. Irish are the whitest motherfuckers on the planet. Irish people are so white they're damn near transparent. The fact of the matter is, Irish people they used to be considered almost along the same lines as black people in the beginning. Even white people hated Irish people. They treated them like dogs. And then somehow they started becoming cops and working on the other side, little by little, slid in. You know, so everybody's managed to do that, so then they were like, hey, if you guys stick over here with us and gang up against them, we'll give you a pass. So that's how that goes. And I mean, all that to say, it is a very curious question. Who do you think would come to the aid? Because here's the thing, if they said somehow, some way they could snap their fingers and every black person disappeared from the United States or Earth or whatever, you know what would happen? They would find someone new to bully. Who's next? That's exactly, it wouldn't stop people think, oh, we live in harmony if those guys were gone. No, you wouldn't. You'd lose a lot of talents, ability, and intelligence, but at the same time, inevitably, the nature, the yin and yang in the universe, it has to be yin and yang, which means even if we all disappeared tomorrow, I guarantee you somebody would take our place in some way and respect, and they would be the new whipping boy. So, look, it's what it is.
I didn't even ghetto white people.
Hey, yeah, for real. I mean, don't get me wrong. You ain't got to be black. Ghetto is a term. You're right. Ghetto is a state of being. Mimi's right. It's a state of being. Anybody can be ghetto. You know, anybody can be ghetto.
Yes.
So that's true. That's true.
Those rapper kids. It's gonna be the trailer park white kids. That's what's gonna happen. If all blacks were wiped out and there were only white people, they're gonna go for the minority of the whites.
Well, you realize the Civil War was white people fighting against each other because one of them wanted one thing and another group said, maybe not. And so, again, I will give that to white people. They'll fight anybody, including themselves, but they just don't catch the same blame as we do. So, hey, fair enough. Fair enough. You know what I'm saying? So check it. We're gonna jump into a music break here in a sec, but when we get back, I want to ask you guys a question, and it'll still kind of lead into our subject for today. Just to read, CB, what's our subject matter for I want everybody to know what the topic is tonight, but before this music break, let us know what the topic is so people can kind of weigh in or jump in or catch up.
Yes, the subject matter tonight, we're talking about open relationships, and if is having an open relationship cheating? Why or why not? So we want everyone to give us a call at 516-415-603 and wait in and let us know what you think. But before that, we have our music break. First song up is in honor of the passing of Coolio. So here's his #1 hit, Gangster's Paradise. Here we go.
I'm right here. I'm mixing my drink with Coolio.
As I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I take a look at my life and realize there's nothing left. Cause I've been laughing and laughing so long that even my mama thinks that my mind is gone. But I ain't never crossed a man that didn't deserve it. Me be treated like a punk, you know that's unheard of. You better watch how you're talking and where you're walking, or you and your homies might be lying to chalk. I really hate the trip, but I gotta know. As they go, I see myself in the pistol smoke. Fool, I'm the kind of nigga little homies wanna be like on my knees in the night, saying prayers in the street light. Look at the situation they got me facing. I can't live a normal life. I was raised by the sick, so I gotta be down with the hood team. Too much television watching got me chasing dreams. I'm an educated fool with money on my mind. Got my 10 in my hand and a gleam in my eye. I'm a low-down gangster, stress tripping banker, and my homies is down, so don't arouse my anger. Fool, death ain't nothing but a heartbeat away. I'm living life to do and die. What can I say? I'm 23 now, but will I live to see 24? The way things are going, I don't know. Tell me why are we so blind to see that the one we hurt are you and me?
All right, that was in honor of the fabulous Julio. Rest in peace, Julio. Rest in paradise. And, you know, just listening to the lyrics of that song, it was so deep when you really think about it. He was 23, and he was worried about living to see 24, but he lived to see 59. Yeah. He almost made it to 60. that was so
I think a lot of those rappers back then didn't think that they would make it this far, even at 59, because it was off the chain back then.
In the 90s, for real, it was buck wild. I mean, we were like, we went back to the Wild Wild West for a minute. That's when like drive-bys became super prevalent. Just man, I get it, because if you listen to his original album, It Takes a Thief. Now, again, my buddy and I argue about this a lot. He's like, I was never a Coolio fan, but blah, 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 blah. And again, everybody likes what they like. But I actually bought the album because I remember in college, I loved Fantastic Voyage, the remix to Lakeside. But then I listened to a few other songs on there, and he was talking about back when he was doing his thing, and I just thought the guy was really creative. But then down the line, he started doing shows and was on TV and all that. He was pretty charismatic. You could tell he was just a really smart guy. Probably got caught up in the system or whatever, but his talent and all that shone through. He's got a hell of a resume. If you stop and look at what he's done, hell of a resume. So that just proves you can find anywhere. You can find talent anywhere. So
you can. You really can. And a lot of those who, you know, came from humble beginnings, as long as you stay grounded and you don't forget where you came from, but you don't use it as an excuse to stay where you're at, if that makes sense. Because a lot of people use their circumstances. Well, I'm poor, I can't do this, or I came from this, I'll never do that. But my thing is, it's all a state of mind as well, because having a positive mindset is the difference between success and failure. If you know you can do something, if you believe you can do something, then you'll do it. But if you already go into it having a negative attitude, like, oh, I'm from the projects, I'll never do this, or I'm poor, I can't do this, or I'm poor, I can't afford to do this. You know, if you already have that negative mindset, that's the results you're going to get. Failure, because you're already willing yourself to fail. So it's always mind over matter, and that's why I always tell people that you have to have a positive mindset. Instead of saying I can't do something, say I can, I will. And if you start changing that and switching it up, then eventually it will become second nature to you, and then being positive will be second nature to you, and you will see such a change in your life, a positive change. And it can happen literally overnight. But you have to
make up your mind. You have to say it.
Yeah.
You know, when people say, and so what you said makes good sense. Like when people go, no, I'm trying. I don't like to hear people say, I'm going to work on it. When people say I'm working on it, it means no, you're not. I mean, literally you can wake up tomorrow and decide anything. So what you're saying is completely true. If you say I'm going to wake up, if you say I'm done smoking, I'm not saying it won't be difficult the whole way through. You literally make up your mind just like that. If people go, I'm working on me, I'm trying bullshit. If you go, I'm no longer smoking, when you wake up tomorrow, you're like, I'm done. That's it. If you say when you wake up tomorrow, you go, I'm going to read a book a week. That's it. You don't wait for January 1st. You don't wait for Monday. You don't wait for the right day or a rainy day. You just do it. And anytime I've ever said I'm going to start doing X, Y, Z, it could be Thursday. I start today. So that is the most true thing you could possibly say. You don't. I just don't like the whole I'm working on it. You actively work on a car. I work on it today. I'm working on it tomorrow. I'll get done. But if it's you make up your mind right then and there. I'm going to do it or I'm not. I'm going to be a better person or I'm going to be a worse person. But you don't. It doesn't take a week to decide. I think I'm getting worse. No, you wake up and go, I don't care about anybody. It's the truth. It's really. I'm very, very seldomly a black and white person. But when it comes to that, I I am. I'm 100%. You either I'm going to, you will or you won't. Period. I mean,
Right.
that's really true.
Either you will or you won't. And life is all about choices. We all have choices. Some people make the right choice, but you can't really say what's the right choice and what's the wrong choice because it's different for everyone. So what my right choice may not be the right choice for you. You know what I mean? So it's kind of hard to, ascertain what is someone's right choice. Now you can think, what you think their right choice should be. But at the end of the day, they're the ones that have to make the choice and they're the ones that have to live with the consequences of their choice. And the thing is, when you're making that choice, it's like you have to, be prepared for those consequences, good or bad.
Sure.
So life is all about choices.
So that's a good point, good or bad. So if you say I'm going to choose to get in a stolen car and drive, and if the police come in running, you are prepared to deal with what happens if you have an accident, if someone dies, if someone gets ejected, or if you all go to jail. That's what you're saying. If you make a choice to say, you know what, I'm not going to work 40 hours a week, I'm going to work 60, then you should be prepared to make more money, probably have more success, and climb the ladder. You see what I mean? You said that right. You have to be prepared for consequences, good or bad. But when people sit there, I had this discussion with a dear friend about wishing. I wish people would act a certain way. I wish people treat me a certain way. And this person really, really deserved all the best treatment in the world. Because when you give that, we have certain hopes or we have expectations. One of the two. See, I don't wish people would treat me a certain way. I don't hope people will be nice to me. I'm too mean. I demand respect because I give it. But because I give it, I demand it in return. You can't not do that if I'm giving it to you, because everybody has equal footing. I know some people, we take that route because we were taught to be like that, but it's the same to me. I liken it to slavery when we had to accept beatings and accept mistreatment and all that and hope for our reward in heaven. And I tell people all the time, I'm like Oprah in Color Purple. Girl, you better think about heaven later and bash Mrs. Head open now. I'm not going to sit there and wait and get my reward. Shit, that ain't me. That's my take. And I'm not telling you that if that's what your grandmother, grandfather did or whatever, they may have had to. I don't have to. I don't have that option. So so to everybody out there who needs to hear that, what we're all saying, I hope at least, is if you need to know when you deserve. Here's what you deserve. Nobody deserves anything in life except a chance to do whatever. You deserve an equal chance to do whatever. You don't deserve to be rich. You don't deserve to be famous or happy or anything. You deserve an equal opportunity to get out there and make the most of yourself. But with that being said, the one thing I would always say is you 100% deserve to receive the treatment that you give, good, bad, or indifferent. So if you are wonderful to people, I do think they should be wonderful back. Doesn't mean it's going to happen without a little bit of enforcement, but you do deserve that. If you're crappy to people, But see, we like to call that karma. You ever notice that? Even people that ain't religious, love believing in karma. You ain't even religious, but your ass will say, karma gonna get you. Kiss my ass. Karma can't catch me either. But if you make people treat you the way you deserve to be treated because of how you do, then there's your karma. I guess my middle name is that, because I don't wait on, I'm not going to outsource my happiness, my safety, or my future to something that someone else, it's just the truth of it. So, yeah, I think more people need to understand that it's not about the wishing. You be active, make it happen. So I got before we go, I want to ask you guys a question. What was that? I got a question, but what'd you have?
Well, I was going to say this last song kind of makes a segue into what our topic is. It's a song it's a song by, and it's an old one. It's a classic. It's Sad to Belong by England Dan and John Ford Coley. And so when I play this, really listen to the lyrics, because it's deep. Here we go. Sad to Belong.
Okay.
on a springtime day. You were minding your life and I was minding mine too. Lady, when you looked my way, I had a strange sensation, and darling, that's when I knew that it's time to belong to someone else. I want to belong. Yes, it's time to belong to someone else. I want to belong. Oh, I wake up in the night and I reach beside me, hoping you will be there. But instead I find someone who believed in me when I said I'd always care. Oh, it's sad to belong to someone else. I want to belong. Yes, it's sad to belong to someone else. I want to belong. So I live my life in a dream world for the rest of my days. Just you and me walking hand in hand in the wishful memory. Oh, I guess that's all that it will ever be. Wish I had a time machine to make myself go back until the day I was born. I would live my life again and rearrange it so that I could move from down. Oh, it's sad to belong to someone else. I want to belong. Yes, it's sad to belong to someone else. I want to belong. Oh, it's sad to belong to someone else. I want to belong. Yes, it's sad to belong to someone else. I want to belong. Oh, it's sad to belong to someone else. I want to belong. Yes, it's sad.
I'm gonna say this and I'm gonna end mine. I know a lot of songs, but I mean, I've got a hell of a mental Rolodex. This girl can pull some of the whitest shit, and for me, considering how white I really am at times, even she throws me for a loop sometimes. Because I can honestly say I've never heard that.
Yeah, really? Yeah. Oh wow, I've never heard it.
Oh, wait! Don't say that shit. She said really like that's gonna be at the barbecue every Sunday. Girl, sit down some damn weird talking about really. Like that was top 40 all through the 70s. Sit your ass down. Okay. Oh my God. Okay, so this is gonna be great. The reason I'm going to ask this question because I know we got to get into the subject because it's going to take us there. So before we get into our topic, obviously just about the nature of open relationships and all that, would you want to be broken up with, dumped, associated, de-officiated, whatever? Would you want to do it? Would you want to do it in public, face to face, over the phone, over text? How do you prefer to end relationships? And I don't even mean if they're violent or volatile, like you just regularly amicable or whatever, maybe sad, whatever. How do you prefer to end them or have them ended?
Face to face.
If I can't look in your face, then at least I want to verbally talk to you where you can hear it in my voice and hear the conviction in my voice that we're done. And vice versa, I think that it's unfair if you know you want to break up with someone and you just continue to string them along and you're off living your life, but they're still in their fantasy thinking that you have a relationship when you really don't. And I think, a lot of people don't look at the red flags because red flags are always there. We just some choose to ignore those red flags. And it takes people that are on the outside looking in to point out those red flags. That's why it's good to have a bestie to tell you, girl, That's stupid. Get out.
No. Women are the worst things that ever happened to a good relationship. A single woman is the worst thing to a woman in a relationship. They are the worst. Only thing worse than a single woman with a girlfriend who's got a man is a woman with a gay best friend. They are bigger haters than a single woman. I'm just gonna throw that out there. Whoever wants it, come for it. But I appreciate. So here's what's crazy. Most ladies that I talk to say that y'all prefer the face to face. I think most gentlemen are like, nah, if you done, just let me know you're done. We move on. I don't think we need that, but I also feel like there's an emotional element to that for women. I really, really do. It's almost like I want to see your face. I want, what's up?
Okay, so I'm gonna say this. It's all depending, because if you're shacking up with an individual, see, this is the thing, and I'm gonna speak for myself because you guys know how I do. I always speak for myself. I can't speak for others, right? I'm gonna speak for myself. Somebody's gonna see this video later and they're gonna be like, "That's not true." Anyway, I don't give a fuck. So what happened is that this is the thing. I'm all in when I'm in, and you know that I'm all in because I'm cooking, I'm cleaning, I'm washing your clothes, I'm doing grocery shopping, I'm doing you're behind the door thing is off the radar. You can't even talk about it. You can't even secretly talk about it. Anyway, the shit is off the chain. Everything is perfect. You're going to know by my actions when this thing is over. And it just doesn't abruptly happen. It eventually happens. Like we talk, we have discussions, we talk about different things. And then you choose that you want to be the way that you are and you want to stick your ground and you want to continue to stick needles. And when I'm done, then it's over. Then it's, sweetheart, look, your stuff is packed up. Just take it. I'm in a Zoom call. I can't be disturbed. So when you come in, just drop the key. Just take your stuff. Just no.
Now that's different because you said you're staying together. So I think that's definitely a different. It's a much more personal element.
Yes. But I think even if you're not staying together, you just need to have that last conversation. Like,
why?
Hey,
why?
You just gotta have it.
No, you gotta have it. Okay, so let me speak for the guys.
What you gonna do? Have a conversation over the phone. Okay, this ain't gonna work anymore. All right, do this. Click. I don't think that. You know what? This is the thing. It's all dependent on who you're with. Because if you are with a woman that's all that to you, and she decides that she wants to break shit up, trust me, you're not just going to walk away unless you just didn't get a fudge to begin with.
Okay, so my point is this. Like you just said, if you're done, you're done, right? So when you're done, when you're officially done, less is more. That means say less, do more. Move or he move or she move or whatever. Here's the point I think women, that's emotional warfare. That's kind of how women wage war. It's like, I want to get inside you. I want it to go deep. So I want you to see me. I want to see you. I want to see the pain, the hurt. I know I got you.
It don't even have to be that. But that you don't need to come see me or us have a conversation to just like start this thing. Then you know what? Then deuces, I'm good for it.
Right, but that's what I think. Believe it or not, I think that's what most guys do. Most guys that I talk to, I think, and I'm going to say we because we're men. I'm not a guy. So I feel like we think like that because, like, if it's done, there's nothing left to say. And so if there's nothing left to say, don't call me. Don't explain to me why you want to leave because that tells me you want me to convince you to stay. If you're really done, you're gonna be like, okay, so that's it. There ain't gonna be no. Look, Raj, I can't stick around because this and you did that and we can't do. Okay, then you should be gone. Don't tell me what the hell I did. Guess what? I was there. You ain't got to tell me the story. So I think for most men, we're just like, why do we have to get into that unless you want to maybe see me cry or be upset or act a fool because it makes you go, see, he still loves me, and then you can leave. I just think that whole breakup thing is the whole idea of I got to see you respond. I want to elicit a particular response before I go so I can walk out feeling better about it. I think most men are like, look, just text me and go, I can't do this anymore, I'm out. Or whatever, or come home and your shit's packed and it's like, all right, clearly we're done. That's how most men feel. We want to cut and be gone. We don't want to drag it out. I just asked that question because so often it's like that. 9 out of 10 women go face to face. I want to talk about it. I want to do whatever. And I think that's just kind of our makeup. But to men, it's like if we're done, I don't need to see you. I don't need to know that this is the last time I'm going to see you. If that's the case, I guess shit surprised me. I think that's how we feel. If you're really serious, nothing left to say. You know, whatever is over here still, I'll send it. I'll mail it. I'm just curious about that because I kind of figured that's what I would get from y'all, but I was just wondering, see me, look me in the, no, I don't, when I'm done,
it definitely doesn't have to be that way if it doesn't need to be that way. If we're living together, then of course, you know, you got to come get your shit, or I'm coming to get my shit.
Yeah, it's different. Yeah.
But if we're not living together, no, dude, this shit ain't working out. It just is what it is. You know, I'm sorry, it ain't for me. You know, and he's gonna say, all right, then, well, you know, deuces, all right, bet, click.
Okay, real quick. Would y'all want somebody to tell you this was the last time? We're having sex for the last time. I told you before I decided I was gonna move on. We're gonna have sex one last time. Like if they told you in the very beginning, if I get too deep it's serious, I'm gonna tell you when it's the last time.
No,
that happened to me when I was young.
What's wrong with you?
That happened
who does that?
When I was fresh out of college. Well, I'll tell you who does it. People that don't really want to have a serious relationship for one reason or another. They're not ready, but they like you. But then they go, if I get to the point where I'm getting too far in, I'm going to tell you when it's going to be the last time for whatever reason, whether one of us is really getting into a yes, like it happens. I'm going to let you know when it's going to.
That's crazy. We're going to do this for the last time. You crazy? You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to murder you. Well, I mean, not literally, but.
Listen,
he'll be like, "Yeah,
you're
okay,
crazy."
Now, that's not the last time.
You know what? Put it like this: guys don't say that shit. We don't come up with these goofy ass rules. Women do. This ain't a guy thing.
Okay, you know
you
what?
ain't never heard of a guy going, "All right, girl, listen."
I don't know.
Bullshit. You ain't never heard of a guy going, "This is gonna be the last time now." I told you no more. Because as soon as you say I'm making dinner tomorrow, he gonna walk in and bring that right back over.
Ain't nobody gonna ever tell me that.
See? Ain't nobody gonna see right there. That ain't never
there
it is.
That ain't never happened. So maybe it's because I
don't know. What? I
don't get that.
No, it's just no, you find out.
Even say
you find out when y'all talk no more. It may not be said, but it'll be done. But all right. See right there, y'all boy. Don't you dare say men's egos are bigger. That right there, ain't nobody gonna say that to me. Cause listen, I'm scheduled to do it again tomorrow just to prove his ass wrong. You know what? We doing it tomorrow, so go home and drink some Gatorade. Goddammit. So see, look at you. All right, let's get into it. CB, what we got? Let's get into it.
It doesn't happen that way. The person will just show up and it will be going again. It has to be a complete cutoff. Complete cutoff.
All right. See, my point has been proven.
But I think that if you're with somebody, you know, depending on how long y'all been together, and then it just abruptly ends, or if it's a mutual breakup or whatever, you owe each other that much, at least to be honest with each other, either in person or verbally. You know,
if it's been a while, yeah. If it's been a while, sure. Yeah.
What do you call a while?
Oh, to me, it would have to. Okay, that's a year, whatever, year, 2, 5, 10. I mean, yeah, I think if you've been, it really, honestly, time is relative, and I hate to be like that, but if you consistently are doing something with someone, even after 6 months, I believe that everybody deserves to know, like, hey, listen, this isn't working for me. Even if you don't have an excuse, a lot of people want to know why. If you tell me right now, Raj, this just isn't working for me, you know what? All right, I'm not going to ask you why. I'm not going to try to change your mind. If you are really convinced that, you know what, as much as I feel for you and all that, this isn't working, the only thing I'm going to say is, all right. And that's the difference between us. We don't have to know why. We don't say why nearly as much. Why? But what? We don't, okay. Right. And that acceptance comes because what am I going to do to change your mind? It doesn't usually happen the other way around. Oh, no, you're going to tell me I need to know so I can process, break it down, and figure out which one of us is right or wrong. But for guys, all right, it doesn't mean we're not hurt. It doesn't mean we're not like, what the? But To you, it's going to be
right.
like, okay, that's just how we are. Because what is the point of me coming to you and saying, "But wait, what did I do? What did I do? Well, I can fix it." No, bullshit. Because who you are is who you are, and if it's going on this amount of time, there's really no fixing unless she said, "Hey, can you fix this in the beginning?" and you didn't fix it. So there's no point in me coming to you going, whoa, give me another shot. I mean, and again, if you got a family and kids and mortgages and shit like that you got to look into your finances, and that's different. But I mean, if you guys been hanging and 6 months in, she's like, we're going in a different direction. And he's like, we're going in a different direction. The only thing you really are required to say, out of sheer courtesy is, okay, take care and be about. I do think, but does it have to be done face to face? In my opinion, no. If you're done, you're done. I respect the fact that you're done. But if you call me to come over and to break on me and all that, I will mess around and dot your eye. So I wasted my gas to come over here for you to do that shit. I'm going to give you a shiner. You better call me on the phone or text me and tell me it's over. Don't have me come over to your house for that bullshit. And you know what? Just for that, I'm going to go try to find your best friend now, you asshole. So now I'm mad. Don't do that.
Many relationships have been messed up because of people, doing things out of spite.
Yeah, happens a lot. Happens all the time. That's really not something guys do in terms of getting even, but I mean, do, but you know what I'm saying? You know how that goes. We operate differently. Okay. So that flows obviously into our wacky subject tonight. We get down for the get down.
Wacky subject.
How did we? I said wackadoo. That's my word, wackadoo. So, okay, ladies, how do you guys feel about, especially in this day and age, things are a lot more open and free. So how do you guys feel about open relationships in and of themselves? I mean, whether or not you would entertain it, or just how do you feel about it as a whole? Like, so talk to me. What's your thoughts on that?
I don't have thoughts on that because I don't believe in it, for real. I don't believe in it at all. Like this is the thing. I feel if we need to have open relationship, then we don't need to be together. Because somebody may slip in better, sweeter, smell better, do it better. It might be some better shit.
but if someone is prepared to deal with that, okay, Sarah, I guess.
Nah,
you know what I mean?
I have never been in a situation where somebody's ready for somebody else to take over and be like, oh man, that was the shit. I need to go back over there. That shit ain't gonna happen. My ass will be headless. So no, but I've you know what? I don't think like that because until I heard about like swinging and all that other craziness, I never knew that stuff like that existed. And I don't know if it's just like my island mentality, the naiveness of being open to that type of stuff. I didn't know that stuff really existed. Like people, like an open relationship, like you can do what you want to do and still be in a relationship. You're still coming home to the person you're living with, but you're out there doing what you want to do. That's a little too much for me. You know what it is? I can't entertain more than one person at a time because in here, I'm a different type of person. So I can't see it. I can't see it for myself, and I can't see myself doing it to somebody. But that's just me.
Mm-hmm. Okay. CB, talk about it.
Well, with me, I have a different point of view. I think if it's a mutual thing, then I don't see anything wrong with it. Well, being in the lifestyle, and I speak from experience. Being in the lifestyle, and just the things that I've seen in the lifestyle and the relationships that I would say were probably saved. There were many couples who were on the verge of divorce and they wanted to do something to spice up their marriage or their love life. And the thing is, like, when you go to swinger parties and things like that, not mandatory, to swing with another couple. You can, actually just, be with yourself. And people can watch you get down and do your thing. So,
voyeurism.
Yeah. Oh, that's a different type of thing.
Oh, yeah. there are many couples that would go and just, have sex in front of everybody else. And they were totally comfortable with that. I mean, that's right.
Hey, look. Oh, I see you. Okay, so CB, because again, I know, when, we go back a long way from the same spot and all that. And, I know of a couple of spots and things like that, especially when you were doing media back home. And, I did security for a lot of this stuff. So I did see a lot of things, and I know you did as well. Would you personally, because I know you can go, and the thing is, with a lot of these situations, women can go in alone or with other women, men cannot, because we're creeps. And let's face it, like I said, we don't behave. But that being said, it's a double standard. And so would you be comfortable if you were with someone seriously, full time, doing that same thing, entertaining the exact same situation? Or would you be more on the kind of on the perimeter looking in? Or would you be like, look, you know what? He does him, I do me, and together we do us.
I like that part. My thing is, I like my freedom. I think that's why I haven't settled down with one person, because I like my freedom. I don't want to be tied to just one person.
So let me ask you a question, sis, before you go ahead. Let me ask you a question. So do you think that when you're seeking for someone, you need to be seeking for someone who is open to that lifestyle, so you don't be caught in a box? Like you don't want to be tied down. You want your freedom, but they're on the, I want to tie you down. I want to tie you down.
Mm-hmm. Well, my thing is, I'm open to, just being with one person. I have no problem with that. But my thing too is that I get bored in a relationship very easily, especially if I'm not getting any attention, if I am not getting my needs met, and I'm constantly trying to meet their needs. I think in a relationship, it's got to be a give and take. So if someone is looking outside of the relationship for whatever reason, for anything, that means that there's something missing in that particular relationship. And instead of, searching outside, why not just talk to your partner and let them know, hey, this is what I need. But then sometimes you tell a person, this is what I need, and they're like, okay, and they'll give you what you need for a week, and then, or maybe a month, and then it's back to the okey-doke, and it's like,
a week?
It's great while it lasted. So, what the hell? I get bored in relationships easily, because I think that the things that you do to woo a person, to get that person to fall for you, should be the things that you maintain. I'm not saying, wear makeup to bed and wake up in your makeup and stuff like that. What I'm saying is that, people sometimes get really comfortable around their partner and they let themselves go. And it's like, and the thing is, because we women, sometimes we're guilty about that.
I think what it is with you have this little freakazoid thing in you. And see, you're sticking to an age range type. And sometimes the age range type, if they don't have it going on, like a 35-year-old, you're ready to drop it like it's hot. Like, bye, you got to go. But the thing about it is that a 35-year-old is not going to be thinking like a 55-year-old or a 50-year-old as far as like the maturity level. They're still doing their thing. So, I mean, it's one thing or another. Okay, We're not going to have everything that we want in one person. It's not going to happen.
I'm going to interject. I'm going to interject because I see this kind of, okay, CB, but before I interject, are you talking about you get bored physically, or you just get bored all the way around because maybe they can't keep up with you? Maybe you like to do a lot of things, or maybe you just like to do one thing a lot. So which one is it? So before I answer,
what's the one thing?
Well, hey, tear your mouth out. You motherfucker. You know what I'm talking about.
the hottest 20 minutes of CB and the boys ever. They'll be like, oh shit, just scroll to the last 20 minutes of the show.
Hey, she be swinging from the chandelier, knocking plaster off the walls. Anyway,
wow.
So before I answer, which one is it? Which one is it first? I need to know.
I get bored all the way around because if I can't hold a conversation with you, especially like there's some men who are just set in their ways, you know, and then you realize, man, I never knew this person at all. Why am I even here? Especially different views, and it's hard to not bring politics and political views into it as well because that plays a big part. And it's hard, and it's really sad to say, but it's the truth. When you look at someone's political affiliations and what they believe and what their beliefs are, and you find that it's not aligned with yours, that relationship is not going to work because you're two different people with different, you know, thought processes. You know, you have a brain, they don't. So it's sad. It really.
And I respect you have to still respect somebody's views on different things. Everybody is not going to align with what your beliefs are just because these are your beliefs.
Yeah. I could respect them being stupid. Yeah, for sure.
Okay, all right.
Because I met this one guy, he was on the soapbox, and he was telling me that, you know, and him being from Arizona, you pretty much could tell how that conversation went. So it was just like, man, I felt like I was sitting there talking to Hitler reincarnated, basically. And it was just like,
so
when you
here's what I'll say though. So I think, and this is going to be interesting because when I hear and again, you hear both sides of the coin with ladies and with guys talking about what they prefer, what they like, and things like that. And everybody says it's the other side. Somebody's damn lying. We meet in the middle. But when it comes to the whole open thing, I think more people are opting for that now because it has been made to be a little more acceptable publicly. You have, yes, I promise you there are more people that think like that, that think like this.
I'm pretty sure. I'm just saying. That's not your cup of tea. Yeah.
But you have a lot of people. You have a lot of people going, "Hey, listen, just be honest." Now, this is what you hear from a lot of people. Just be honest. Just be honest. But the funny thing about it is, everybody lies about something at some point. I love when people go, "I don't tell lies." That's the number one lie you just told. Now, we have lies by omission. Exactly. We have lies by lack of evidence. We have lots of lies, but to flat out tell a bad lie is one thing. So I think the biggest difference with this is the women, like Mimi said, like, you know, everybody says, most women are going to like, listen, when I'm all in, I'm all in. I feel like I don't have need for something like that. If I feel like I have need, then I just move on. That is kind of the one thing I will say about ladies. Ladies are like, look, if I'm tired of driving this car, I'm probably going to get another one. I'm not going to keep this in the garage and get another one. I'm going to get rid of it and get another one. That's how women think as a rule. Men will be like, listen, I ain't driving this one right now, but I might need it in the future if this one breaks down. That's just how we think in terms of conservation, in terms of whatever. That being said, who's right, who's wrong? But I also feel like our needs and desires tend to be slightly different at different times, which is why we look at it differently. If you just want to look at it from a strictly animalistic standpoint, men are looking at it in terms of, okay, variety, build a bear. If I'm not getting this here, I'll get this there. We look at it like this. If you break a rear view mirror on a car, we ain't getting rid of the car. If you get a flat, we ain't getting rid of the car. We'll go get another tire. We'll go get another mirror. We'll go get another fender from another car. That's how we think, but we love our car. Women will just go buy another car most of the time because you're not going to work on it. You're not going to deal. That's not your arena usually. And if you understand the analogy, and if somebody says I'm comparing women to cars, you don't want to know what my answer to that is. I'm just going to tell you, go fuck yourself. Because you get what I'm saying.
I want to fix it. I want to fix it, and I want to keep it.
And that's cool because you're all in. You love your car. You're all in. But some people are just like, it's too much work. So, and not even that. It's like, look, I love everything I have here with this car. But some people just feel like, you know what? I want to go to Hertz and I want to drive this for a weekend. So, and again, what's right, what's wrong? But you have to look at it from an emotional standpoint versus a physical. See, you just said it. If you're all in, most women cannot entertain. Here's the thing. Most women cannot entertain being submissive, mind, body, and soul to more than one person. That's why it's difficult naturally for y'all to cheat. You can't let.
I'm all in. I get all involved. So I can't see myself being all involved with the person that I'm living with. This is us. This is what we're doing. And then, you know what? I need to get something else elsewhere. So I go over here and then get all in over there. But see, the thing is, it's not about getting all in every place. That's the difference. See, here's the deal. Part of it is the masculinization of the female gender over the past couple of decades. It's showing up in this. Women are starting to act and think like men, and that's why a lot more women are doing this. That's just the truth. And men we are being emasculated, and we're starting to be trained to think and act like women. And so we're going in a different direction. That's why you have this huge convoluted ass mess. But that being said, I get what you're saying. Most of the time, if you're in, you're in. What did I say last weekend? If you get here to a woman, you're going to get to here. If you get to here, all this down here belongs to me. And that's the truth. That's how you guys operate. Mind, heart, and the rest is me. We go the other way around. Why do you think when we see y'all walk by, we look at your ass first, and then we work up and go, damn, she's sexy. And then, but you know what? She's even cute. We don't know what the hell y'all look like for the first 10 seconds. So we just want to see your ass. You guys are the opposite. Okay, he's got a haircut or he doesn't. I'm looking down. His outfit's cool, and then you look at his shoes. That's what you laugh because I'm telling the damn truth. You're welcome. That's the difference. I know how this goes. But we're also so physical. We're physical and visual. Yeah, because if the hair is dressed up, you don't even have a conversation.
See, I think that
you don't even go get to the barbershop.
Yeah, I don't think that there's a right or wrong answer to this question because it's all about preference. Everybody's preference is going to be different. What's right for me might not be right for you. But there's really no right or wrong because everybody's different. Everyone's situation is different. Everyone's
of course. Which is why I said, what do you think? Well, okay, so CB, because again, you have a little more, you're a little more savvy in that side of the world. So my thing is, would you be okay with a guy saying because you're not going to be okay with a guy saying he can do that and you can't versus, but what if he said you can and he can't? Would you? Because see, here's what I think. I think most men, because men are visual and we're physical, we're very weak. It's not here's the thing. It's not about right because if you give me the right,
but you can't tell me what I can or can't do if you're doing,
Believe it or not, that's some people's agreement. It's an agreement. It's an agreement.
That you're going to do. You must be prepared to know that I'm going to do it too, or else we'll just decide to go our separate ways.
I need you to know. I need you to know.
We need to have
you know what?
And relationship works when it's mutual, when both parties are on the same page. That is the only way an open relationship works. Because if you're telling me you're going to be doing this, but I'm not out here doing this, then that's not an open relationship. That's a one-sided open relationship. And that, my friend, is cheating. Period. Plain and simple. It's like when a guy is out and he knows, and he could be a married man that's on these dating sites. He takes his wedding ring off. He makes his account.
You get more play with it on.
Tagged or something. He knows what he's doing is wrong. He knows what he's doing is wrong. And in his mind, he's cool with it. That's his preference. That's his choice.
Right.
And he has to be prepared to live with those consequences should his wife find out. Because many a times we women, we go off on the side chick But many times the side chick does not even know we're in the picture, that there is a wife or a significant other.
Yeah, go for the person that you live with, not the person that they get with. But yeah, I agree. It's easier to have an issue
before I fight over a man, because I feel like if you have to fight for the person that you love after they've cheated on you, then he was never yours to begin with.
No, we ain't fighting. It's time to go. Let me tell you something. Do you know how many people are on this planet Earth? It's just amazing.
But you know what? You say that, but how often do you hear people go, "Oh, there's no more good men, there's no more good women," and there are 8 billion people. So pick a lane. Pick a lane.
Nobody
just because
there is no 100% good.
No, not at all. So even when we're sitting there even when we're sitting there patting ourselves on the back, going, "I'm this, I'm that," your shit stinks like everybody else does. You have to embrace and know what your shortcomings are, and then say, because here's the thing, you know, the one defense that I love to hate that I hear from people. Yeah, but I'm a good person. I hate when people say that. I hate it. Don't go, yeah, but I'm a good person. No, you're not. I look right at people and go, no, you're not. What? Says who? Says you? You're dick to me because you say you're a good person.
Well,
I mean,
to that answer, I say you may, consider yourself to be a good person. However, what you're doing is not good. So you're a good person with ill intentions.
But according to who? Who says it's not good? That's what I want to know. Who says what's good and what's not?
The person who is being done to would tell you that it's not good. The person that
make it true.
That they're in a relationship with a single man to find out that he's married would think that it's not good. But the person who's doing and doing the wrong, they know it's not good, but they don't care. And that's what separates. That's the main thing. You have to give a fuck.
Why?
Why not?
Because you don't have to. It's freedom of choice. I don't have to give a shit if you walk into the street and get hit by a bus. All I can say is, well, shit, I hope one lane is open. I'm late for work. I don't have to give a fuck. I choose to because most of us have hearts, morals, and what we've been raised to think. But do you have to know? The point that I'm making is the rules are based on what and based on who. And so you're right in the sense that, come on, man, just human decency dictates, but that doesn't mean it's right or wrong. It has to be exercised. What's right, like you said earlier in the show, is what works for us individually. There's a lot of people that do all kind of incredibly nefarious shit on a normal basis, and they look themselves in the mirror every day and go, yep, I'm still that guy, because it doesn't matter what you think or how you feel. You think cutthroat business owners and people that do hostile takeovers really give a shit if you're homeless? They do not. So that's the point we're making. Everyone is selfish in their own right. Because Mimi doesn't agree with this doesn't mean it's right or wrong for me or for you. It just means that's her lifestyle. Just like your lifestyle is yours. And like I said, I take my hat off to you. As a matter of fact, if you learn something good, bring it to the show and share it with us because it's what makes you happy. I made for one person and one person only. This guy right here. The thing is, you have people that are important to you that you would do anything for, but it doesn't, like I said, I don't live to please anybody but me because in the grand scheme of things, I am who has to look me in the face, live with my emotions and my thoughts. So if I choose tomorrow to be like, you know what? I'm on vacation from being a decent guy for the next 72 hours. Watch out, world. Your boy's on the prowl. And then if I come back and go, all right, I'm back. That's my choice. And I don't give judgment be damned. Your judgment means nothing to me because you can't validate or invalidate anything I say or do, which is why I love the fact that, look, out of all three of us, we're all just like, hey, shit, Mimi's like a hard no. CB's like, look, if he wants to do it, he's going to have to watch me do it. And chances are he might be upset about it because as guys, here's the problem. We are physically competitive. Women are emotionally competitive. And I mean, it's just a straight truth of it. I'm not saying that there isn't some crossover, but you do get what I'm saying. We compete on the outside looking in. You guys are vice versa, which is why we do damage out that can be seen and that may heal over time. Y'all do damage that last a lifetime because you get real cerebral and do, crazy shit. And like we were talking about earlier with the whole breaking up thing. See, that's part of the damage y'all fuckers do. You want to see him. You want to show him what he's missing. You want to talk about it, get emotional, and then do. We don't need any of that shit. See, they just want to show how different we are.
I don't need to. I could really do it over the phone. Unless we're living together.
I know you could. But if you know you're winning, if you know you're the one, look, the person breaking up always has an advantage. The person being surprised never has an advantage. If you walk around the corner right now and get jumped by 3 guys, you got the element of surprise sprung upon you. If you're the one doing the jumping, you see what I mean? So if you know you're going to do it, it doesn't hit nearly as hard as if you walk into, hey, you know the words we hate hearing most, by the way, and I know y'all know. So for all my ladies out there, we got to talk. Oh, fuck you. We hate hearing those words because it ain't ever good. It's never good. We got to talk means you got a problem. Yeah. That's what that means. It means we got to talk. We got to. So, I mean, I was just curious because here's the thing. Selfishly, yeah, it is one-sided. We figure, you know what, it's just physical. We could do da-da-da-da-da-da. But most of the time, unless we know we're winning in a lot of categories, we don't want to contend with that. And that's just the way that we're made. Unless, like you guys said earlier, unless we really just don't care, then it's like, peace, do what you do. If we really don't care, if we're beyond that. So, I don't know, but a lot of people are getting into it. A lot of people are getting into it, and I think they're getting into it because of this whole revolution that's gone on with people assuming different roles and things like that. I'm not saying whether it's right or wrong. I'm saying what I think and how I feel about me personally. I'm probably a lot more traditional in some of those ways, contemporary in others. But, yeah, just the whole, I can do it. You can. If we're just kicking it, you can do whatever you want. I know. I've known forever. If you're hanging with somebody, but if it's supposed to be something different, I think the expectations change. You know if you're fooling with somebody who's got an active calendar and shit like that versus somebody who's like you say all into you and things like that. It's not really hard to tell. And I think point blank, I'll admit we handle it far worse than you guys do. When it comes to that particular part, the open part of it, of course, we dish it out better than we can take it, but we also compete differently than you guys. All y'all give a shit about is, did you love her? Did you kiss the bitch? Did you care about her? That's what y'all care about. We want to know all kind of different shit. We want to know like how we measured up.
That's why I'm not trying to deal with that, because I don't even want to know none of that shit. I want to know is what I'm doing good, baby, because let's go. I don't give a shit about another hoe. Anyway, we only got 2 minutes left. CD, run with it because we gonna take this shit into the damn hour.
Yeah, but I mean, it's deep. And everybody, has their own, thoughts and feelings about it because it is so serious. My thing is this: if a man wants me to be good to him, then he must be good to me. If he's not going to be good to me, then he must expect to get his feelings hurt by me, because that is the end result. That's the end game. That's what's going to happen.
And then you said earlier the red flags. You said that yourself. You said the red flags are always there. We tend to ignore them. So that's your point. Now, that being said, when I talk about Nia, here's the thing I'm going to say about Nia's situation. If y'all think Nia didn't know what was going on, y'all are crazy. She's known the whole time. Right. The problem is a lot of ladies, and listen, I talk shit a lot, but I give you guys all the credit in the world. There are a lot of things because of your integrity, your pride, and your legacy. You hold on to a lot of things. You're going to stand by your man. Y'all stand by us through some bullshit. We do the same thing, but she's known. The 2 things I disagree with was, A, if you engage to that fool for 10 years, he ain't going to marry you. Second of all, Nia needed to return my phone call and bring my toothbrush back to my house. We wouldn't have had this problem. But see, she be messing around, and that's why this shit happened. Because I told her the last time I saw her, she ought to cut that shit out.
But seriously, take over. We got to end this.
Nia.
I'm not gonna be ahead of my whole life. I won't be ahead of my whole life. Just for this 1 minute. Let's go. See me, take it over. Take it over. Take it over.
All right, everybody. Thank you so much for joining us tonight. Everybody, go ahead and say goodbye.
I'm on punishment, but Nia.
One love, God bless guys. Thank you very much for tuning in. We had a great time, and prayers to everyone in Florida. I'm going to definitely tune into the news right now as we speak, as soon as the show is over. So, prayers up.
All right. Take care of yourself. Love each other, man. Just like I said, hey, tomorrow ain't promised, so you got to kick it today. Hey, drive it till the wheels fall off. That's how I live like you're dying. Peace.
Yeah, don't call that number. All right. Phoebe, take it over.
Everybody, once again, thank you so much for joining and rocking with us tonight. Also, our hearts and prayers are with the people in Florida. So everyone, please stay safe. To all of our family down there, and especially to our Python family down there, everyone, stay safe. Just stay safe. And yeah, tonight was an awesome show. We come to you every Wednesday as your Midweek Motivator, offering you music, laughter, motivation, conversation, and a whole lot of fun. So hopefully you guys had fun tonight. And I was going to end it with a different song, but you know what? I found an even better song. I'm taking y'all back, way back. I'm going to go ahead and start it as I fade out. But yeah, here is Radio and Jack and Jill. Well, that ended up quite abruptly. Sorry, guys, hold on.
You need to learn to listen to your man. Learn to listen to your damn man. I told you before, I know what's best for you. See? Right there. See? Hey, out there, world. See? Y'all remember the TV show Father Knows Best? Jesus, I can't win for losing up in this month. I'm drinking again, man.
No, it was just not too loud of you guys.
I wasn't even going to drink as much tonight, but you see what they do?
That's okay.
This is why I couldn't be Mormon. I can't have more than one. They drive my ass to drink. Shit, George, I need you, dog. Oh, they're killing me.
Who's got the remote control on the end of the show? You do like
Me? Now what? You don't control the remote control in the house, goddammit. I do. And I need a sandwich.
And what we're going to need you guys to do, everybody listen to the sound of my voice, is to go to our YouTube. We're already on our YouTube. Like us and subscribe. Please. Send our playback around. Send our link around. Like us and subscribe. Send your family, your friends, everybody. Like us and subscribe. So, that being said, check out our website, cbandtheboys.org. So definitely go like us, subscribe, go to all of our social media, Facebook, everything, CB and the Boys, like us and subscribe. All right, so taking us home is Radio with Jack and Jill. So I'm going to turn it back up and let them say it off. Here we go.
Thank you for using Blog Talk Radio. Goodbye.
My bad.
Do y'all realize the shit that I be learning on these old songs that I haven't heard in a while? Now that shit. Listen, I was gonna be mad at you, but you know what? If you had to switch the song out, that was worth it. I was about to be pissed at you, but that was all right. But you realize that the new girl was into anal. That's why Jack left Jill. That's fucking crazy. Yo. He said she had mud on her. Do y'all know mud is another fucking term? Listen, work with me here. Another terminology for backdoor.
Oh, damn.
Yeah. See, I told you, boy, I be on my shit.
Oh, no.
Wow. That's deep.
She said, oh, no. I'm sorry, did I ruin your evening? She said, oh, no.
Man, that's deep.
Exactly.
Wow.
Pun intended. Oh boy, I can't with y'all.
Well, looks like we are in an after show. Welcome to the after show, everybody.
Oh man, y'all killing me.
Welcome to the after shows. Welcome to the deuces.
No, you guys don't understand. We're an after show.
Right.
Welcome to the after show, everybody.
So we're still showing live. So we are live
today.
Probably. Tripping. Listen, I know I probably made a lot of people rethink dealing with me, and I'm fine with that.
No, who does anybody care about?
Exactly. I'm just kidding. You know I don't. That's why I said it.
Yeah, I'm there with you. Like we don't give a shit for you.
No, you know what? Let me tell you. People think it. I say the shit. That's just me. I always have been. You think it? I say it.
True.
They'll be all right.
Hey, I know, and they'll be better. They welcome. I tell them all the time. Y'all are welcome. Shit. That's a truth. Anyway, all good. We got that right. We got through it all right. I know George gonna have some shit to say about the sound and all that, but guess what? That nigga wasn't here like he should have been. So we did what we did. Damn. I'll take a B- instead of an A, nigga.
Oh my god, y'all. This shit is big.
Oh, you're so precious.
I'm here looking at top five because you know they're doing
see me. She ain't even following me. Go to bed, Mimi. She said.
No, I'm watching the news. This thing is big, man. Oh my god. That reminds me of freaking Hurricane Marilyn, Hurricane Hugo, and Hurricane Maria.
She said like she know all of them and shit. Yeah,
I remember Hurricane Katrina.
Yeah, because I was in Miami when Hurricane Hugo hit, and my mom's house is gone. Like as a matter of fact, next week.
I remember Hugo. I do remember Hugo.
Some pictures as a result of that one, and then Hurricane Marilyn. I was in Hurricane Marilyn in St. Thomas, and then Hurricane Maria. My mom experienced that again. So yeah, like this, and that was in 2017. So now it's like a couple years later. Now here's Ian, and they just missed it in Puerto Rico. Like they got.
But here's the thing: it's kind of one of those, you know, you got to prep for it because you know it's coming. It's coming. It keeps coming. Yeah. It does the same, you know. And I mean, I'm not saying that to say anything other than it keeps coming. So I'm not sure what the answer is other than moving further inland or things like that. I mean, what's more important to you, your real estate value, your equity, or your life? That's the only thing I can say. It's like anything. If Vegas all of a sudden became a hotbed for police killing people and doing shit like that, guess who would be gone? Roger. I'm not going to keep my kids involved in that. And I'm not saying that everybody has that option, but everybody really does have that option.
Right.
If you plan, I know some people can't do it, or they can, they just don't. But
would you move back to Africa?
I've actually entertained buying property in Africa and as well as other places. 100% I have.
Entertained as far as purchasing, but would you move there?
Depends. Like I said, once again, it depends. If it's one of those, here's the thing. If shit is hot on a global level, it doesn't matter where you go. But if it turns into like just America just decides, you know what, it's open season on black folk. And, you know, and there are other places that I can't go and they go, hey, you know, we're not going to take you here and things like that. Then yeah. Why wouldn't I? I've been, and there are certain, I haven't been all over. Obviously, it's the biggest piece of land on the continent that's habitable. But based on the fact of how they receive us and what we have to offer in certain places, if I know that I'm going to be a safe haven, I would go. My kids will use it because, you know, internet's slow and all this other first world shit that they're not used to. But if it meant like protecting them and all that, 100%. 100%. I would. Yeah. And that's the thing. A lot of people go, shit, I would do this and do that. And they don't really mean it. I'm not knocking anybody. I'm just saying people go, dog, I would do this, I would go here. They don't have passports, they don't have backup systems listed, they don't have a lot of things.
Yes.
In preparation to do that, if all of a sudden they said next week Russia's going to invade or somebody's going to invade, could you get out of here? Could you really leave and get out of here? Most people couldn't.
Right.
And I mean, and honestly, yeah, like I literally prep, and I know it sounds crazy, like a doomsday prepper, but yep, that's what I've done. I absolutely could. I absolutely could because I don't. That's how much I don't trust anything outside of my own arm's reach and control. 100%
Mm-hmm.
I could. So
Yeah.
you know, but yeah, but it's weird to think about because everybody talks about Mother Africa and all that, but
Mm-hmm.
if you used to this shit, oh, you know. So anyway, let's kill it. Let's kill it. Kill it. Kill it. Who's that? Who's that? Cause y'all ain't going no damn Africa.
Okay. This is the thing.
Not
Okay, so
voluntarily.
I'm gonna tell you guys something. So I'm gonna talk about my brother. He's gonna probably shoot me one day, but anyway, I don't care. So he's out there in Wisconsin with the whole Rastafarian thing, and I just gotta respect my brother because he's my brother. I love him, but he's into this whole, you know, come to Wisconsin. We got this whole thing. We going to Africa, la la la, all this stuff, and I'm just like, I'm not going to Africa. I watch videos of Africa almost every day. My guy, he's into all the
Wait,
lions and the tigers and the all the stuff happening in Africa. I'm gonna tell you
wait.
that.
What do you? Why wouldn't you go? Why wouldn't you go to Africa? I just want to know
I just don't. I don't see it. I don't see it for
why.
me.
That's not answering why.
That is an answer. I don't
No, it's
see
not.
myself going to Africa for
Why?
what?
No, we're saying like what I just say. If if in this country they said, okay, there's got to be a hierarchy. It's got to be white, the people that we've assimilated, da 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 da. And they said, okay, the only place you're going to be safe is Africa. What part of that wouldn't make you go? Because going just
Okay,
because
so
is
you know
not
what?
going
Look, if that's a big if, and if that was supposed to happen, I would be the first one saying I'm coming. But that's not happening. That's not ever happening. So, with that being said, I'm not going to Africa just because. I'm not relocating to Africa. I'll visit. I want to see a lion. I want to see a cheetah. I want to see a giraffe. All that shit. I want to see the stupid little monkeys that be doing shit, stealing your bananas and purses. I want to see them little shitters. But
to.
I need to come
Me
back to
too.
America. I need to know that my passport is. I'm going to tape my passport to my body.
No, no, okay, we'll talk about it. You don't that's trust me, Africa ain't the fucking jungle, the bush all over the place. I promise you. They have a lot of the same shit we do. I promise you that. Like I just told you I
I
went there,
and, I,
but
and you know what? And I see that with my beautiful Nigerian people that have been around for the last 18 years because my boss is, who I do
no,
taxes
I
with.
mean,
They're all Nigerians, and trust me, they're trying to get me to go to Nigeria. Every year they want to marry me to somebody. So
that's different. That's different. That's different.
I
Because
look,
your ass is beige
I
and
love
it's
my
different.
Nigerians. My thing is, I don't feel like I need to go to Africa.
No,
I
I'm
feel like
not
if I go
saying
to Africa,
I'm
I'm
not
gonna come up
saying
missing.
my thing is I'm gonna go. I will go wherever my life ain't in jeopardy. I'm not saying. Look, I would go to France or Europe or anywhere place I don't give a shit about if I thought I would be safe. I don't care where I go. I'm just asking personally. Like, see, the thing about America, we have an issue with what's going on, but we don't want to leave because it's like, yo, police brutality, killing black people. But at the same time, I can go to Starbucks anytime. I can open up a kiosk and get rich. You don't want to leave that. So like Chris Rock said, America is like the uncle that paid your way through college but molested you. You got to forgive certain things and appreciate others. That's America. It's the greatest country in certain ways, but not a great country. And so because of that, people are like, yeah, it sucks in this way, but it's great in this way. So nobody wants to leave that. But if I thought for a second that somebody was hunting, actively hunting my kids or me or somebody, I'm out of this. Like it ain't that serious. I'm gone. I don't care where I go. I'm gone. But that's me.
Now, when you break it down like that, I would have to agree. I would definitely have to agree.
Yeah. Why? Yeah.
Yeah.
Why feel like I'm not gonna get actively hunted. So, but I can own a Maybach in America, but they might shoot me at the stoplight in that Maybach. Hell no. I'm gonna go somewhere where my money goes far and where I can retire and do what I do. And if I get 3G internet instead of 5G, I don't give a shit because I'm safe. That's my biggest thing. Like I can move around in that respect. But that's what travel does too. We could talk about travel another. I want to talk about travel on another show for real, because we're getting into it. We've all done some of it and all that, so we'll get there. But in the meantime, I know it's late where Mimi is. TB act like she got something to do, but she don't. So whatever. I hold you motherfucking hostage if I want to.
Technically, you are.
Whatever. I'll be like, do things act quick.
Hey, listen, y'all. If you learn anything from me and George, y'all learn that shit right there. Hint, hint. Anyway, all right, I'm done with y'all. I ain't fucking with y'all. I'm out.
He put his damn self in punishment.
Do not jump off yet, but go ahead and end the show. Okay, so as everyone, thank you for sticking around for our brief after show. We will see you guys next week.
Everybody's in timeout. Oh yeah, everybody go to timeout.
Let's go.
You don't never know what you get.
You got the remote control, player.
Yeah, he's on us hostage.
Say it again. Call me Pinky.
Look, we're gonna start falling off. Your ass gonna think that the freaking weather going bad. We in the midst of the hurricane or some shit.